I don't know how to do it. Just back and forth.
It's been a fun day to say the least.
Has been a fun one. Had the conclusion to the St. Francis and the St. Lawrence game. That one resulted in a St. Lawrence W. They will move on. And Francis move down to the losers bracket as we get set. York Sports Network bringing you the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. And this is an LT team.
You've seen before. You've seen before. We've seen them before.
Sandburg.
LT with the
And the white uniforms are the Lions of LT, and the blue uniforms are the Eagles of Carl Sandburg. And this one starts with Niedermeyer. Right hand, nothing going.
complete air ball.
3 ball on the way, that one no good. Shot by Leonard Serdar. This one taken away by Khalid Salah. Into the hands. Kusper up, no good.
3 missed.
3 ball off the mark. Ball sticks with Sandburg. Straight up, and Sandburg registers our first points of the ball game. That was Atharva Atria. And Niedermeyer and the Lions back the other way. Nigo. Back out to Niedermeyer. Back to Nigo. Nigo drives. Niedermeyer hesitates. Inside. That's Anthony Engels with the basket. And we go 2-2.
Gavin will fix that scoreboard for you,
yes.
folks.
Back the other way come the Eagles. Kick outside. 3 ball on the way. Looks short. Will be short. Rebounded by Nigo. Here comes LT the other way. Up. Engels. Straight on. Straight forward. Basket no good. And rebounded by Zach Cusper. Cusper up the floor. Cusper looking. Giving to Atria. Atria.
And
off
missed
the mark.
Hit the back of the rim. Hit the front of the rim. We missed it all.
And Niedermeyer the other way. So Bobby, you and I were talking. We said defense. This ball will go
in the first game when Dane showed up late. Yes, that's the key. I mean, you look at defense. That's how you're going to win. The last game for sure didn't have any defense. They didn't have much, if any.
It was a high-scoring affair. I mean, we talked that shot there by Atria, pretty good shot. And Sandburg is there.
Sandburg last year a runner-up in the Jack Tosh, or Constellation Championship, excuse me. LT was 4th place. They lost to a St. Lawrence team we just saw.
Nigo no good. Rebound goes up. Serdar. Serdar can't finish. Rebound by Engels. Here comes Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer opposite side. Nigo looks. Nigo pulls. 3 shot on the way is off the mark. Rebound to the Eagles. Tria. Drives, little penetration. Kicks out. And that shot looked a little funky. That was Leonard Serdar.
Serdar did hit the ground hard earlier.
Excuse me. There's Brandon Keaton. It says 34, I saw 24. Meanwhile, we resume. Niedermeyer looking for something, has nothing. Gets outside of Heath. Heath goes to Engels. Engels to Nigo. A lot of traffic down low. Bad and costly pass there. And we will have a double dribble. Little carry action earlier. Bobby, you and I were talking, and a good, solid defense is the key to winning a tournament like this.
Yes, especially this tournament. I mean, you look at this, you look at both these teams. I mean, we saw LT. They They play great defense versus York, but I feel like you got to play better defense versus the Sandburg team.
This is an LT team that was here a few weeks ago playing the Dukes as Nego drives and right-hand finish is good. They came in here, gave the Dukes a pretty good ball game.
3 ball. Nope.
But it was their first game away from home, and I believe they lost that one by 10, 51-41 is the other way going up. That will be a blocking foul, and that one was drawn by number 11, Stefan Vasek. He will be at the line shooting 2. Foul on Cusper. First one off the mark.
Missing free throws has been very, very key in all these games. I mean, the last game we just saw a lot of missed free throws.
It's second.
It came back to bite them. Sandburg down the floor.
Cusper gives to Keaton. Keaton out to Atria. Atria, left hand. Little penetration, nothing going. Rebound by John Wall. That's the thing, Bobby, with defense. With good defense comes fatigue, especially when you're playing on short rests. In a tournament like this, it is not an option to get tired.
No, not at all.
Yeah, and we talked about that. Quick turnaround. You have a holiday yesterday, and you and I were talking in our first game. How much
first quarter, actually,
first quarter of our first game? Michael
was
Shea drives and gets it. We were talking about how, you know, these teams, especially if you're playing at 9 a.m., does that factor into your play, in your opinion?
I think it does, yes. It didn't really affect St. Lawrence or St. Francis, but then again, they were playing it at a later time. They were playing at noon. It's 1:30 right now. Here we go.
It's going up and in. Here's Josh Heath. These are two teams, two schools that are not too far from each other. There's a Atria inside. And back out to Cusper. Two teams not terribly far from each other. This way, block foul will be called on Michael Shea. But as you said, Bobby, this Sandburg team was runners-up in the Constellation Championship last year. Pretty solid basketball program. Checked into the ball game now is number 1.
I mean, last year they lost in the
Ani Ali. Cusper will give to Atria. And the jumper is short but gets the roll.
Took a good bounce.
Basic three-pointer on the way is off the mark. Went through the hands of Shea and back the other way. Come the Eagles. Up to Ali. Ali to Atria. Atria, 3-ball on the way is no good. Rebound by Vasek. Bobby, I got a feeling a travel called there on Vasek. Bobby, I got a feeling this game isn't going to be as high scoring as we've seen so far today.
No, and especially with the fact that Atria has all 7 points for Sandburg. You need someone to step up and get more points. Atria can't do it all. This one goes out of bounds.
And that's the thing. You talk about those teams that we saw earlier, a lot of height. A lot of height on those teams and athleticism, too. We talk about Chris Hodges. Chris Hodges, you know, that Schaumburg team, you know, obviously didn't lack height, but Hodges really opens up the court. Is that one we know good, and we will go the way of the Lions. But the nice thing about height is height can open up numerous doors. I mean, you can focus all your attention on one player if you want to, as in Hodges. But if you do that, then you open up the doors for perimeter shooting, like with guys like Patterson, and that's exactly what it is. Nego goes up with the left hand and finishes. But that's what's nice, is you get to see a variety of styles of basketball. His opposite side, near side 3-ball is good. That one is number 24, Leonard Serdar.
We should mention our table was just hit. First time. Nothing is broken. And a charge is called. We gotta be careful sitting here on the floor. Usually we're up in the stands.
I'm saying first one to make an athletic grab wins. Is that fair?
Makes an athletic grab to save the.
To save the equipment. That's what we'll have it. That's what we'll have it be. And you can, and if you catch a player,
If
you catch a player, we'll go 15. There, as that shot there by Atria is good.
10 points for them. That's incredible. Some Nate Shockey type stuff that we've seen.
13-11. Sandburg has their first lead of the ball game since the opening 2 points. As Niedermeyer gives to Heath. Heath to Nigo. Nigo on the block, up and in.
So when you talk about catch a player, do you mean like you physically jump up, catch this player?
I'm sorry, let's set it up like this.
Him like a baby?
Hypothetically, let's say Niedermeyer comes in here and saves the ball over here. If you catch his fall, $15 is yours.
Only 15?
Only 15. 5 seconds to go. Cusper looking for something, wants anything. He'll just throw it up and nothing going there.
The last two that we've had have been fantastic. The first one became a blowout at the end. The rest have all been roughly close throughout.
Important note here that Atharva Atria counts for 10 with the Eagles' 13 points. It's Cusper and the Eagles go back to work.
Relatively tall person.
We got a lot of height in this tournament this year, Bobby.
We do.
Back out to Cusper, guarded by Heath.
Especially out of the games that we've seen. Highland Park, they have height. DGS has height. Sandburg and LT, they both have height. St. Lawrence has a lot of height. St. Thomas, not really, but they only lost by 6 in overtime.
Ali, that shot no good. Up the court come the Lyons, no good. Back the other way comes Jordan Phillips. Phillips gives to Ali, but a little bit of sloppiness there results in the Lions coming back the other way as Nigo drives, left hand finish is good. (15-13). 7 minutes remain in the half as Ali from the free throw line, no good. Rebound by John Wall.
Kind of crossed up DC Moore. That's a nice board and nice finish.
This ball will stay with the Eagles. Checking into the ball game now is Stephen Basic. Headed out is Michael Niedermeyer. Phillips looking for somebody. That's Cusper. Cusper directing traffic. We'll go to Atria. Now Atria to Ali. Ali back out to Sala. Sala to Phillips. Drives, right hand. Got it.
Nice finish.
Real good finish. This Sandburg team is very, very quick. They're very quick. They're a quick team.
Quick down the floor, they do all of it.
A lot of athleticism, too. As Nigo gives to Vasic. Vasic from the free throw line. Short.
Very, very short.
Rebound by Salah up to Ali. And Ali will be shooting to that foul. Gret Nigo. This will be LT's third foul.
The ball hit like right.
Now Ali misses the front end.
Like it almost.
By the way, this tournament this year holds a lot of interesting games. We have 5 o'clock. As Ali hits the second. 5 o'clock, Max Christie.
Top prospect in all of Illinois. He's only a junior, too.
Only a junior. 6'8". He can drive. He can shoot.
That's going to be a terrific game. You and Dana are on the call for that one.
Oh, that's right. Looking forward to it. Be a good time. But you and I, partner, I feel this one. This game, we've talked about the emphasis of scrappy basketball. It's exactly what this is. Nigo.
Yes.
Right hand, no good. Rebound out to Vasic. Vasic gives to Engels. Engels for 3 is good, and that's Ben Engels' first
Their bench
points.
loves it. Their bench loves it. Sandburg and Lyons, they all their jerseys look very similar. Not the blue and white, but Sandburg's blue compared to LT's blue from the first game. I almost thought that Sandburg was the home team and LT was the away team.
Identical. This one ripped away by Phillips. Back the other way, into the front court. Phillips drives coast to coast. Yes, sir. Right hand finish is good.
He is a very fast player all around. We saw him just get down this court, and then it felt like 2 seconds.
Engels, another one. Yes, sir. Oh, my goodness. Ben Engels with the hot hand early. He's got 8.
Not the leading scorer, though. Grant, Nigo, and Engels both with 8 points.
Zali gives to Atria. Outside. That one short. Rebounded by John Wall. That was Star on the shot, but the other way comes Nigo, and it's good. 7-point lead for the Lions of LT. 3.5 to go in the half. Atria. And we go the other way. And Bobby, you said it. You were right. This Atria is very tall, but he's got tremendous care for the basketball. Takes tremendous care of the basketball. Niedermeyer up and in. He had one.
It's a big and one.
Niedermeyer capitalizes on the extra bucket. Atria and the Eagles set up shop the other way as Ali driving. No shot on the call. But this is where if you're one of these teams, it's going to go one of 2 ways. LT, get a couple buckets here. And then you're looking at maybe down by 15 going into the half. They got a lot of work to do. There's Ali, that shot short. But a Rebound and kick out Ali. Ali 3-ball on the way from the corner is no good. Rebound by Michael Shea.
Came up way short.
But if this lead extends here, Sandburg is going to, as travel there on Shea, they're going to have a lot of work to do after the half.
I mean, we've seen teams, they've gone down at the half by, like, you could say a significant margin. St. Lawrence was up over St. Francis by a significant margin. I mean, we saw overtime. Do I think we'll see overtime here? Probably not. That one rims out.
Cusper. Outside of Tria, 3-ball on the way. Is off the mark, no good.
Is that over in the back? Over and back?
Yeah, that foul will be on Khalid Salah. His second and the fourth on LT. Both teams have 4 fouls. Checking in to the ball game is number 34, Brandon Keaton.
Game has whizzed by so far, 28-18 with 2:25 left.
13-13 was the score at the end of the first quarter. Vasek inside to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer guarded by Phillips. Inside of Vasek. Vasek goes up, strong, no good. And we're going the other way. So Bobby, we talked, we saw in the first game, a lot of height with Chris Hodges. Brandon Keaton is a very, very tall individual as well. As a travel there, that's costly. That's just a bad mistake. But we talked about how height can open things up. If you're Sandburg, are you going to try and get that ball into Keaton? Maybe get him to draw a couple fouls or kick out and look for threes?
You think so, yes, because 5 fouls already on LT, and you gotta finish at the line. That's where it starts, and
This
the push
foul-
is called.
This foul on the ground. And very surprising is that Sandburg has come out here and that baseline is wide open.
It is.
And if you're LT, you're taking advantage of that. As Niedermeyer to throw in, Vasek, 3-ball is off the mark, no good. Rebound by Phillips.
Phillips, once again, he uses that speed and gets down court fast. I don't know if that was a shot or a pass.
Looked like a pass to Keaton.
That might go down as a shot because that hit rim. That 3, nope.
Heath, no good. Cusper up to Ali. Ali drives. No, nothing. Rebound by Keaton. And this foul will be on Sandburg and Keaton. His first, but the team's 6th. A lot of fouls here, Bobby.
I mean, the first game that we saw and the one we just saw, there was not many fouls at all, if any. Well, there was fouls, but not many at all.
Heath from the corner. Got it to go.
Yes, sir.
15. Excuse me, that'll be a 13-point lead. Their largest of the ball game. Cusper. Good pass, but Keaton can't pick up on it. Josh Heath the other way. Cusper gets his hand in there and recovers it.
Stays in bounds. Good save. You go 25 seconds.
Back up to Cusper. 15 seconds to go. With 5, out to Cusper. Cusper with 3. Cusper with 2. Off the mark, travel. 1.8 to go.
Thought he drew
LT
contact
with the ball. Angles to throw the ball in. Travel.
With point
2/10 of a second to go.
Wait, if you're Sandburg, do you draw something up, call timeout, draw something up, or did you just like?
I mean, this, you gotta have
Can we put more time on the...
Well, I guess not. That will conclude our first half 13-point lead for the Lions of LT.
By.
A very quick one. 31-18, the score at halftime. We'll see you in 10 minutes. Gavin Hughes and Bobby Hesley on the call. And we welcome you back to the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic. Dick Campbell Gymnasium, York High School, Sandburg, and LT. 31-18, the Lions of Lyons Township with the lead. A tremendous first half for Grant Nego, Ben Engels. And for Sandburg, it was less than desirable. And LT, start with this as we go to work. But Bobby, a seldom first half from Sandburg.
Yeah. I mean, only 18 points, and they have one guy who scored 10 is something not to be proud of when you look at that on the score sheet.
And we talked about how important defense is, but it's also important to have
a type of offense.
Exactly. Spread the wealth in terms of points, and that's something that you have to be able to do if you want to have a chance at winning this tournament. As Nego goes up, right hand, finishes good. 15-point lead, LT's largest of the day. But we have seen a couple comebacks so far as Phillips goes up and a chance for the end one. We've seen a couple comebacks so far.
This will be the probably biggest comeback that if a team will probably have to pull off today.
This, I believe so. I believe it would be. And games in the South Gym will have those scoring updates as they come in. And
Palatine did beat, or no, Wheat North, excuse me. They beat Palatine in the South Gym. We got word of that from Mr. Hova, who is a history teacher at this school. LT finishes. They don't finish the basket, but we'll go to the line, shoot two.
Nego coming up a little gingerly.
That was Nego, you said, correct?
Yep. This wall hits the front end. First couple minutes of the second half is always important as it goes back to a 14-point lead for LT. But the first couple minutes of the second half is always very important for teams. It's where you can go back to controlling tempo. As a trio, 3-ball on the way is no good. You can go back to controlling tempo, and you just had a deep breath and process where you're at. But I'll tell you what, I don't love the idea of Sandburg coming out here and launching up a 3 on their first possession of the half. Or the first couple possessions.
Well, Sandburg, they got to get in the paint. I mean, they have height. They just haven't used it at all, which is just unfortunate. I don't know if they're trying to repeat as consolation champs, but you would think you're trying to repeat as you're trying to win the entire tournament, not just repeat consolation.
This is Cusper to a Tria. Tria guarded by Niedermeyer. He'll drive, and then we got to walk.
Yep, you should have been packing some bags, traveling.
Took a pretty good amount of steps there, too. Both him and Phillips were looking around. But that was in the light of day. That travel not going anywhere. As Niedermeyer, good little look inside. John Wall, good finish.
That's a nice finish. You get the easy points down low. Don't rely on the 3.
And I believe this will be our largest lead in the entire tournament.
Out of this gym, yes.
Out of this gym.
We saw Hinsdale South absolutely destroy Elk Grove. It was like a 39-point win for Hinsdale South. They're a good team. I hope we're calling some games with them.
Hinsdale South, the former team that Coach Dorn coached.
I believe he still coaches high school there, or not coaches, teaches.
Yeah, he teaches. Business management teacher?
Yes, he is a business teacher.
Sounds right. As Niedermeyer loses this one.
I don't know if he is like a substitute or what. I don't know if he's full-time.
Phillips for three is
yes,
good.
Sir.
37-24 this score.
He has 10, so he's trying to open up the scoring for Sandburg. Phillips, who's a junior.
Basic inside of Niedermeyer.
Fell down. Saves it. Kind of hobbling his knee go, so something to keep an eye out on.
And that's something that we saw at the end of that play that resulted in free throws. There's Vasek now. Dribble drive. Up strong. No good, but draws the foul. Vasek hits the first.
This game keeps whizzing by. We might have a significant break in between this game and then Batavia and Andrew. That game is following this one. You and Dane Emmerich will be on the call for that.
Yes, sir. And then following that one, Conant and Rolling Meadows. Five-star recruit Max Christie and the Mustangs.
His little brother Chris Christie, freshman, will be there.
You know what? I'm thinking we see a couple. I think we're going to see a couple recognizable faces in the stands for tonight's game.
Scouts wise.
Yes, sir. I think you're going to see.
Not only for Max.
Not only for Max. I think Chris too.
You know, you don't hear much about Chris. You hear more about Max than anything else. I mean, then again, Chris is a freshman. It'll be interesting to see who's in this gym, who's not. Phil will most likely be on the visitors' sides of things because that's where most scouts are. But it should be good. Another turnover.
This one taken away by Sala. Oh, and just holes in the hands of Leonardo Serdar.
You gotta catch that pass.
Especially when you're down by 14, you can't afford to make mistakes like that.
No, not at all.
We had the traveling call, and that mistake right there is the equivalent to just that.
Those calls can be killer.
Foul will be on Phillips.
Hey, you and Dane are going back-to-back calls with this. You're making 3 straight calls.
You know what? On paper, it looks like a lot. But
I mean, I've been here since 7 a.m.
See, I'm not. I only got 10 a.m. But
you haven't worked as long as I have.
That's true. That's true. But what's nice is that we've seen some great basketball so far.
Yes, we have.
Makes it all worthwhile.
You came just in time for the Downers Go South game. Dane showed up a little bit late. It was okay. So he's seen 2 fantastic games in a row.
It's Michael Shea on the basket, 41-25. Have seen 2 fantastic games. This is the only game where it doesn't seem, as of right now, is a blocking foul will be on
down
Michael
16.
Shea.
I mean, Phillips checks out. He had 4 fouls.
And Daryl Jackson checking in for him. And Ali also in the ball game. Jackson gives outside. Serdar off there. And we have holes in the hands of some of these players. That one was straight up to Vasek, and he could not hold it.
You wonder, is this after just Christmas, after the holidays, or is it just something that we see on a normal basis?
It does, and these are 2 teams that LT, if you're a York fan, you see a fair share of his Heath the other way, can't finish the layup.
CLT a lot.
CLT a whole lot. But Sandburg is one of those teams where we're coming into this tournament, they kind of fly under the radar, and no one knows too much about them. But the first couple minutes, we were pretty impressed with how they played, and then things just started teetering off.
It hasn't. They haven't played to the same expectations that I think most people thought they could have played at, and that's just unfortunate.
As that basket there, a Khalid Salah. 41-27 the score. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Nigo up to Heath. Heath, 3 ball on the way is good.
Sir. He has 8.
44-27. Minute 45 to go. Josh Heath, as you said, Bobby, has 8. Grant Nigo with 12, and this is Niedermeyer back the other way, looking, trying to finish on Jackson. He will.
Nice finish.
Michael Niedermeyer having a better day in this gym than he did a couple weeks ago. It was a Tria 3 ball.
He hasn't been the same. He's had 10 points for basically feels like the entire game.
It's Nigo. Good drive, no good. Up to a Tria. And it just seems like Sandburg is not taking the time and maybe running an offense, trying to get something going. They're just
hauling up threes.
Yeah.
And you can't just win by shooting threes. I mean,
no.
You look at the Golden State Warriors a few years ago, I mean, you think, oh, yeah, this works. It really doesn't. You got to finish in the paint. And that's why you like this San Antonio Spurs it's been almost a decade now. They've always been fantastic because they had Tim Duncan, he finished in the paint, but they also had the outside shooting and Danny Green.
As Vasek, that shot misses off the mark. Down to Ali. Ali will drive and
nice
finish. 46-29. 20 seconds remain in the third quarter. As Nigo and the Lions will hold for most likely last shot of the quarter is kick out to Vasek. Vasek, nice little spin move, but can't finish. Rebound by Nigo. Nigo looks straight up. He will be fouled. Didn't get the and one.
2.3.
And Sandburg with 5 fouls.
Almost a 20-point lead for LT.
That foul on a Tria, his second.
Earlier this season, we almost thought, is LT overrated? I mean, not really. I would say they're a solid team. They're a great conference opponent for York to play, which York has won. And it's just all around they're a solid team. I mean, York just must have played better than them that day. Well, of course they did, but.
And the West Suburban Conference is getting better as the days go by. I mean,
you look up at these banners. You see York, Oak Park, LT, Lombard West, who York, ever since Coach Dorn coming here, has absolutely owned a total record of 15-2, which is something phenomenal.
Shot at the buzzer by Basic is no good, but yeah, and we'll touch more on that. You look at the Dukes in their Thanksgiving tournament lost to Stevenson by 12 or 13, whatever it was, 13-point loss. And then while we were here watching the Dukes play Bennett and own Bennett, a 1-win team in OPRF beat Stevenson.
Oak Park is definitely a team that's a lot of water, my friend. You don't know what to see out of them. I mean, they were losing to teams left and right, and then they beat Stevenson. And you're like, okay, maybe this team is actually good. I mean, they only had 1 win, and they won by 70 against a poor opponent. But yes, like I said, you look up at the banners. Downers Grove North, fantastic last year. Not really the same this year. Hinsdale Central, they've been dwindling down. Proviso West is dwindling down.
It's a very, very competitive conference, and a shocking loss today to me. What I believe, I know they haven't accounted for too many wins, but to see DGS go down after losing this tournament in the championship game last year was shocking to me.
Yeah, it's very shocking. I mean, you look up at the banners on the right side, or our right side of the court, Downers Grove South and Hinsdale South, both in this tournament. And, I mean, could we see a potential West Suburban Conference, whether it be York and Hinsdale Central, potentially LT and Hinsdale South? It'd be nice to see a West Suburban Conference matchup again.
It wouldn't. It's good to see that in a tournament like this, especially when, like you said, when a WSC team is hosting.
Yeah. I mean, there's this Midwest filmer. His name is Sloshay. He films high school basketball games. He said last year when York played Downers Grove South, is the West Suburban Conference taking over? And it's almost seemed that way.
It has, and these teams come out here and give teams from other conferences pretty good ball games. I mean, you look at York last year. Now last year was not the type of team you come across every day as Wall can't
where
finish
they
that
had
one,
a score. Every player that started was a scorer, and it was all around basically a star. Nick Kosic was a 4-year senior. He played a full 4 years.
As Ali hits the three.
Eric Cohn, Sam Walsh, I believe, was a 3-year senior. He only played for 3 seasons. And Shockey's had 3. Is 3rd year playing.
As Ali and the Eagles come back the other way. As Ali will shoot the 3, and it's short rebound by Wall to Heath. Nego goes up and finishes. Good little finish there. He's been pretty confident going to the bucket today.
And 16 points, yeah, that's solid numbers for him once again. Oh, I thought they were going to attempt another 3. And 20-point lead for LT right now.
20-point difference with just over 6 minutes to go in the ball game. As Cusper to inbound, he'll get it to Saleh to Tria. Tria from the free throw line, no good.
Sandburg coaching staff might be putting in some of the players you don't play much in. I mean, down 20. Same with LT in this scenario.
As Niedermeyer, the right-hand floater is good. Right-hand finish, no good. It was Elijah Gabeji on the drive. Inside of Nego. Nego goes up. Can't finish. Rebound by Gabeji, straight to Cusper. Cusper, far side kick. 3 ball is good. That one made by number 12.
It's a nice
Danny
3.
Durkin. Well, Bobby, that would have been a real nice play if it was a long time ago, but unfortunately...
Yeah, maybe the first quarter, second quarter?
Too little, too late at this point. 54-35, the score.
Kind of wonder, Sandburg's been putting up a lot of threes. Are they a 3-point shooting team? Is that their primary role like York was last year?
And
York was 3-point shooting and offense. I mean, is the Sandburg team just straight up 3-point shooting?
And it's been very sloppy, and that's another one there by Danny Durkin. 4.5 to go. Got it to 54-38, but we've seen it. It's just been, it has not been pretty for the Eagles of Sandburg. Is Niedermeyer. Long 3 is good. Lee goes back to 19 as Atria opposite side of Danny Durkin. Durkin to Cusper. Cusper looking, nothing going. Back to Durkin. Durkin looks, doesn't pull the trigger, out to Cusper. Cusper 3 is short. Rebound by Nego. And here come the Lions. Heath. This ball will stay with the Lions. So coming up after this ball game, you will have me for the next 2. And Dana Emmerich will be joining me on our next call. And that will be Batavia and that would be Batavia and Andrew. And then after that 5 p.m. Conant and Rolling Meadows. And then to close out the night, the man to my right at 6:30 will be on call for the Nazareth Ignatius game as the charge called there on Michael Niedermeyer. Bobby Hessling and Ryan Piquel will be on calls for both the Naz St. Ignatius game and the Montini versus York game. The host of this terrific tournament as Cusper working on Vasic.
This game, we've said this multiple times, this just whizzed by. That would have been something if the ball had gone through the hoop underneath and there's a Sandburg player shaking up.
And Cusper and Wall collided. Cusper went straight into the wall, pointing to his shoulder. As the wall hit the front.
Cusper checks out after getting hit.
And so does Atria. Atria, the leading scorer for the Eagles.
3 minutes left. Oh, I thought that was going to be a turnover.
Foul on Stefan Vasic. (58-38). And checking into the ball game now is number 15, Dimitri Spencer. And that's something that the Eagles have missed. The defensive of Jordan Phillips' Nego coming out of the ball game now. I believe he had counted for 19.
19 points on the night.
But that defense from Jordan Phillips was such a factor real early. And
his defense and his speed both were huge factors.
And losing him early definitely contributes to this loss as Jackson to inbound the ball, gives it straight to Sala, and he'll hit the jumper. So, the team that lost in this gym a few weeks ago, as it stands, will walk out of here victorious and move on. That one thrown out of bounds by Ben Engels.
They will play St. Lawrence. That's a repeat of a rematch of the third place game from last season. So I wonder if LT's ready for that one. They're ready to beat St. Lawrence.
St. Lawrence, a very, very good basketball team.
We saw that last night, or just earlier.
Felt like last night.
Yes.
But I tell you, today, from all the games we've seen, I was pretty impressed with Schaumburg. They could hit the three.
I've seen Schaumburg. I saw them once this year. They were playing, I don't remember the team they were playing. It was in the Wheaton-Warrenville South little...
Thanksgiving tournament?
No, shootout series.
Gotcha.
This was after the LT game for a good cause. And they were down, I believe, by 10 basically the entire game. I believe they were playing Huntley, and they won by like 5 points. They're a great fourth quarter, great second half team. Remember seeing that game. York was right after that. That was an all-around terrific game. And that's what basically set the field for the Jack Tosh, that little Wheaton-Warrenville South shootout series.
Ridge called on the travel. It's Alex Ridge, the senior guard. Checking into the ball game now for Ben Engels is number 20, Will Vera.
LT puts in all new players. Everyone has 0 points and 0 fouls, just so no one can get hurt. Nice
Jackson.
foul and 1. Daryl Jackson got that rebound. He's not a very tall guy, to say the least.
See, we have finish for 3-point play here. No, get it. Just over a minute and a half to go. Daryl Jackson called on the foul.
There's no need to foul here. You're already down 16 points. Is that 14? I think that's 14.
14.
Thank you, Gavin.
Oh.
Yeah, there's no need to foul.
This is Cade Nelson, the junior guard. It's the first. It's second. Now it's 16.
I haven't been in math class for about a week now, so you know they kind of rusty when it comes to numbers.
Is inside. That 3 off the mark. Shot by Christian DeSimone. Two shots coming up for number 15, Dimitri Spencer. I'll hit the first. Misses the second.
15-point game. If I'm LT, I should just dribble out the clock here. Don't risk anything. I'd back out to almost a Duke logo. Instead, they're gonna shoot.
Ridge misses the 3. It's Daryl Jackson back the other way. Kick out Danny Durkin. Durkin 3 ball is long.
Airball. And now you should just hold it. We are gonna be about 45 minutes away from the tip between Batavia and Andrew. So we'll have a long break. Something to eat. You and Dane should probably rest up for your doubleheader.
Zevin Gardner there on the finish.
Almost thought that was a travel.
As Bobby said, the next game coming up is Batavia and Andrew. Little bit of a lengthy break coming up. As that's gonna be Cade Nelson. Chance for the and 1 bucket.
It's Coach Jordan's in the scenario. He's telling them just to hold the ball. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about points. And not the same way for LT's mindset.
Unable to finish a 3-point play was Nelson. And that is how we will end this contest. 64-45. LT moving on. Sandburg will go down to the losers bracket. Gavin Hughes and Bobby Hessling on the call for that game. And coming up next, Batavia and Andrew, Gavin Hughes, and Dane Emmerich next. Thank you for joining us. This is the Jack Tosh Holiday Classic on YSN. Thank you, everybody.
Hit the live button again. Stopping complete.